and racing up towards the line is another whiz-bang 2-year-old for Aidan O'Brien. It's Charles Darwin.
Field of Gold and Colin Keane, the gold standard in the St James's Palace.
Get It is all out from £10, racing up towards the line. Holcomb Bay near side. Get It, get it! Get It has got it.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Racing PodBlast with me, Tony Mack, and Ben Aiken from Narrow in the Field. And we're back after a bit of an early summer break in our new midweek PodBlasting slots, and although the time of the PodBlast may have changed, we'll still be following our usual 3-race weekend coverage format. And when the time comes, we'll also be gunning for those lower league Scottish football fixtures when we kick off year 4, blimey, of our ever-popular football Trixie battle, top, middle and bottom. Still a couple of weeks yet before Scottish football resumes, so with it's all racing this week on the pod, and welcome back everybody, and pleased to see you along. And we're covering 2 races on the flat from Newbury on Newbury's Saturday card, as well as 1 race over the sticks at Market Rasen. We'll start off at Newbury on the flat. The 6-furlong Hackwood Stakes off at 2:57 on Saturday. Welcome back, Ben. Hope you had a lovely break, and you can start us off with the Hackwood Stakes.
Yeah, welcome back, Tony. We're back in business.
Yes.
On the pod. Off to Newbury for the first race. Hackwood Stakes, few trends for listeners who consider first for the Hackwood Stakes. 12 of the last 12 winners were either the top-rated horse or rated no more than £11 below the top-rated horse on official ratings. 11 from 12 were running off a break of 28 days or less. And 11 from 12 had won or placed on one of their last 2 starts. Also, a quick look at the running styles of the last 12 winners. Held up or midfield has been the place to be. 9 of the last 12 sat in midfield or held up out the back. 3 sat close to the pace, and none of the last 12 front ran their way to victory. It's been a tricky race for those going from the front, and a race that, at least recently, has played to those sitting midfield or held up. Still 17 entered in this at the time of recording, Wednesday morning. A fair few of them already have a jockey booked as well, so could be a decent number to line up this year. Regional, he heads the betting. He finished a close 4th in this race last year and was last seen finishing a close 3rd in the King Charles III at Royal Ascot. He goes well in the April to July period. He's 3 wins and 3 places from 11 starts in those months. He does like to lead in his races, however, so that might not be ideal, given how the race has been favouring those ridden from off the pace. Clearly a high-class horse, though, Regional. No surprise to see him go well, but I wouldn't be scared to take him on. A few that interest me further down the betting. Iberian is a potential. He ran a decent 5th in the Jubilee Stakes at Royal Ascot. But he's not really a Group 1 player, so he'll be happier with this drop in class. At Group 2 level and below, he has 3 wins and 2 places from 6 starts. The only disappointment came at Curragh in May. He's possibly a better horse from June onwards, so I can forgive him that below par effort. And Iberian is one that's on my radar. Kind of Blue, he half catches the eye. He finished 3rd in this last year. His trainer, James Fanshawe, has won this twice and had 2 others place from his 6 runners since 2011. Kind of Blue has been disappointing so far in his 2 starts this season. He finished 9th of 9 in a Group 3 in France, and then 8th of 9 in the Chip Chase at Newcastle last time out. Beaten favourite both times, so he does need to bounce back here, Kind of Blue. But we know he's a high-class performer on his day. He finished ahead 2nd in the Group 1 Haydock Sprint Cup, and then he won the Group 1 Sprint on Champions Day at Ascot on his final 2 runs of last season. It will be interesting to see if they throw on some headgear for this run when the final decks come through, maybe to try and spark Kind of Blue back to some sort of life. Diligent Harry, he won the Chip Chase Stakes that Kind of Blue disappointed in last time out. If he lines up again this year, then it'll be the 5th year in a row he's lined up in the Hackwood Stakes. He's beaten a neck 2nd in the 2021 renewal and ahead in second in the 2023 renewal. Disappointed in the 2022 and 2024 renewals. At the two renewals where he finished second in, he was running off breaks of 21 days and 14 days. The two renewals he disappointed in, he was running off breaks of 28 days and 32 days. This year he runs off a break of 21 days. So if he follows that limited data, we should see him go close this year, Diligent Harry. The Safi Osborne keeping the ride also catches the eye. She's building some solid stats when riding for Clive Cox, especially at Class 1 to Class 4 level, over 6 furlongs or further, and with horses that had won or placed on one of her last 3 starts. 9 winners and 4 placed from 24 qualifiers under those conditions. 38% win strike rate and over 80 points profit. Clive Cox also has a tidy record in the Hackwood Stakes. He's saddled 9, and 5 of them have finished either second or third. One possible negative for Diligent Harry is that he can front run, but not always his running style. Hopefully he just takes a lead from something in this, and he's where I've landed on just now. Diligent Harry. He's around the 8-1 mark. I think there's maybe some 10-1, 12-1 even going about. He's roughly 8-1, so yeah. But yeah, there is 12-1 and 10-1 floating about. But Diligent Harry is where I'm at. Tori, what you got for the Hackwood Stakes?
Is that your one anti-post then this morning for, on this Wednesday morning, Diligent Harry?
Well, that's
just
my anti-post play for just now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting. You mentioned 2 of mine there, mate, for the Hackwood Stakes, off at 2:57. Newbury on Saturday. Comanche Falls won this in 2023. Elite Status won it last year and runs again in this year's renewal. Giraffe, William Buick and Owen Burrows is interesting for me. The trainer has won this in 2020 with Tab Deed, with Jim Crowley in the saddle, and Minzal in 2022 with Jim Crowley in the saddle, and that was they were both in the colours of Shadwell. Giraffe is in the colours of Sheikh Ahmed Al Maktoum, and I do like Giraffe to hopefully come back to form here. He's had a bit of a disappointing start to the season. 2 runs this season. He was 4th of 7, albeit beaten 1 length behind Fair Angelica as the 5-6 favourite. Well fancied. He was also well fancied in the Wokingham, which was eventually won by Get It, and Giraffe went off at 5-1 for the Wokingham. So he was really fancied for that one. He was 10th of 21 in a group in that group over the near side, I think it was. Or one of the sides anyway. 12th of 28 initially overall, and beaten 6 3/4 lengths behind Get It on good to firm ground. I think he can improve on that as the season goes on, and Owen Burrows knows what it takes to win a Hackwood Stakes. Iberian, I'm with you here. Ben, for Charles Hill, no jockey on board at the minute, but he was last seen at Royal Ascot in the Queen Elizabeth II Jubilee Stakes, the Group 1. As you say, he's dropping down in class here. He was 5th of 14, beaten 5.5 lengths behind Lazat at 50-1. He was running better than his price suggests that day, and I think he can go well again in the Hackwood. Also, Kind of Blue that you mentioned, he finished 8th of 9. Beaten 10 lengths behind Diligent Harry in the Chip Chase, the Group 3 Chip Chase at Newcastle on the all-weather. Give a quick mention to him, and also another one in the Chip Chase that was 3rd in the Chip Chase after a series of wins at Lingfield, Southall and Newcastle. That is Furris for trainer Jack Shannon. He's around 16-1 at the minute. I think that could be worth a very, very small player. He was last seen in the Chip Chase finishing 3rd of 9, 2.5 lengths behind Diligent Harry in the, as I say, the Chip Chase, Group 3 Chip Chase at Newcastle on the all-weather. But I'm going for a Giraffe in this at the moment. He's around 8-1. And to follow up or to improve from his run in the Wokingham, that is Giraffe at around 8-1. Moving on, we are going to Market Rasen for the 312, the Summer Plate, Class 1 Premier Handicap, over 2 miles, 5.5 furlongs. Ben, what's your thoughts on this year's Summer Plate at Market Rasen?
Yeah, Summer Plate, some decent race trends in this one in the Summer Plate to help narrow the field. 11 of the last 12 winners met the following: age 6 to 9, won one of their last 5 starts. Previously won at least at Class C level, but not above Grade 3 level. A 12 or less handicap chase starts and we're running off a break of 90 days or less. Those trends generally leave a workable shortlist for the summer plate, so it'll be interesting to see how the field shapes up at the final decks. Still 19 entered as we record. Last year's winner, Sure Touch, currently heads the market. Sure Touch, of course, one of the GEEGEEZ.co.uk horses. Amazingly, he gets to run this year off a £1 lower mark than the one he won off last season. So it's either a great bit of handicapping from connections or he's a horse who's been badly out of form since the win. Indeed, he's failed to finish any closer than 13 lengths behind the winner in any of his 6 starts since winning this last year, so he will need to bounce back here, which he could, given he's back on a winnable mark, and he's 4 from 4 in the July to August period, so it wouldn't be a massive shock to see him spring back to form, but I'm happy enough to look elsewhere for now. One that is catching my eye is Nicky Henderson trained Baloo. He's still lightly raced over fences after just the 6 starts. And although he's inclined to throw in the odd no-show sort of effort, there is clearly talent there, as highlighted by his win at Newbury in March. That race has seen the form boosted a number of times. The second and third both winning next time out. And the 5th horse, Risk in the Ground, who is also entered here, he won his next 2 starts. If you look at Baloo at Grade 3 level or less and over 2 mile 1 to 2 mile 5 trips, he's 5 wins and a second from 7 starts. Under those conditions on a right-handed track, he's 3 wins from 3. So conditions will very much be in his favour in the summer plate. And Baloo's catching my eye a little bit at around 10 to 1 or 14 to 1 in places. Baloo for Nicky Henderson. Irish Raider, Siandana is another whose conditions in his favour. You look at him in the May to October period on good to soft or quicker ground and on right-handed tracks. You see he has form of 4 wins and 4 places from 10 starts. That's 4 of his 5 career wins. He was sent off as 5 to 1 fave for the Amateur Jockeys Handicap chase at the Cheltenham October meeting last season. He jumped the last bang in contention before his jockey all but fell out the side door on landing. Then faded into 6th up the hill. Then wasn't seen until the start of this month, a 249-day break, when he was given quiet ride out the back at Tipperary over 2 miles. A run that very much looked like a prep run for a future target, quite possibly this target. So Siandana is also in my thoughts. And at bigger prices, I also want to mention another Irish raider, Mr. Saxo Beat. Excuse me, he wouldn't be what you would call a prolific winner. He's only won 2 of his 33 starts, but both those wins have come in June or July, where he has 2 wins in 3 seconds from 7 starts. And both those wins also came on right-handed tracks, like Market Rasen was a right-handed track. So added to all that, it's nothing if not interesting that Harry Cobden has been booked for the ride. Harry Cobden, who obviously won the last 2 winners, or rode the last 2 winners of the summer plate. Mr. Saxo Beat is currently down to carry 9 stone 13. Now that may rise, of course, but current top weight hang in there does have a jockey already booked, so you suspect they're planning on running him, which would mean that Mr. Saxo Beat would be carrying the minimum weight of 10 stone 2, a weight Harry Cobden has only got down to 4 times since the start of 2024. So he'll be slimming to his absolute minimum for the ride. There's just a few things catching my eye with Mr. Saxo Beat. The booking of Cobden definitely being one of them. As things stand, I'd probably be most interested in those 2 Irish riders, Siandana and Mr. Saxo Beat. Siandana is best priced. Well, I've got 16 to 1 here, but I'm looking and he's down to 12 to 1. He's down to 5 to 1 in places, which was not what was happening when I was looking last night. So clearly there's money coming for Siandana. So there is a couple of 12 to 1s, some 13 to 2, but yeah, he 16 to 1 when I was doing this last night, Tony. So, and that's not my money. The short of him, but yeah, Siandana was catching my eye. And Mr. Saxo Beat, he's a lot bigger. He's 25 to 1. But yeah, that 2, Miss Siandana and Mr. Saxo Beat are the 2 that I like in the summer plate, Tony. What you got?
I was just having a look at, trying to very, very quickly have a look at Odds Checker there, see who else, see what the, see Paddy Power's got it at 5-1. Obviously, an Irish-based company. I was just wondering what Boyle Sports had him at as well. But, that's very, very interesting. And even more interesting for me, you're talking about Mr. Saxabeat, Harry Cobden, and that very, very low weight. That he's carrying, and he's not going to ride Sure Touch either. Obviously, Sean Bowen's kind of stable jockey, isn't he, for Ollie Murphy? So that's possibly why I think there. But I've got a couple of big prices here. Starting off with Young Buster for Fergal O'Brien, Jonathan Burke. He was last seen in April, finishing beating. Three rivals by 24 lengths off a £4 lower mark. Only put up £4 for winning 24 lengths. Not quite sure what that's all about, but that was in a handicap chase. Over 3 miles, Young Buster, one to consider there. Fergal O'Brien, Jonathan Burke in the saddle. He's around 14s. Diane Sayre trained Charlie Uberales has won his last 2 at Cartmel in May and Cartmel again in June, when last seen finishing first of 10, beating Cave Court 3 lengths as the 11-4 fancied off a £5 lower mark there. Charlie Uberales, he's around 16s. He's on the drift at the minute on this Wednesday morning. Vintage Fizz is another one to catch my eye, though he hasn't got a jockey booked for trainer Jed O'Keefe. He's run 3 times this season, in May, a couple of times in May at Utoxeter, finishing 7th of 14, 4th of 8, and then he was beaten a neck by the Flyer Begley when last seen in June last month at Market Rasen. So, well, he could well improve on that. Vintage Fizz, that was off a 3. We put up £3 for that run as well. And Shake Your Tail Feather on Shake Your Tail Feather needs a couple to come out actually to get in here. Ben for Dan Skelton will be interesting to see if he actually makes the lineup. He was last seen in May at Hexham, finishing 3rd of 6, beating 1 3/4 lengths behind First Street, as going off at an odds of 3-1 off a mark of 118. It'll be interesting to see if Shake Your Tail Feather, he's a distance winner, and it'll be interesting to see if Shake Your Tail Feather makes the lineup there. But for me, Charlie Uberales at around 16-1 for trainer Danny McMenamin in the saddle there. He's won his last 2, and I think it can go well again. Certainly at that price, it's around 16s for the Summer Plate at Market Rasen. 3:30 is the Super Sprint, Class 2 over 5 furlongs. Ben, you fancy for the Super Sprint this year?
Yeah, a race for 2-year-olds, and there's actually some decent race trends worth considering for this one. First Trend is an excellent one for chopping this likely massive field down to less than half. Now, that trend is the last 12 winners all were no lower than 9th when you ordered the field by amount of prize money won. So you take the field, you order them by how much prize money they've won to date in their career. And the last 12 winners all came from the top 9. That'll instantly chop the field to less than half, assuming it's a full field, which it likely will be. The last 12 winners also met the following. They won or placed on one of their last 2 starts. They recorded a top 6 finish on their racecourse debut, and they were returning off a break of 14 days or more. The draws also had a bearing on things in recent renewals. The last 12 winners all broke from stall 10 or higher. Obviously, the draw's not been made yet, but something to keep in mind. And one final angle to consider, 13 of the last 27 winners ran in a 5 or 6 furlong race at Royal Ascot last time out, and won or were beaten less than 15 lengths. Still 23 enter for the race, and I've knocked up a very, very rough and ready shortlist of Havana Hurricane, Karma Chameleon, Ali Shuffle, Anthelia, Nifty, and our Cody. Havana Hurricanes evens 11-10. I can let him win at those very, very, very cramped odds. Could well win, might prove too good for the rest of the field, but happy to look elsewhere. And of the others I mentioned, quite like Ali Shuffle for Carol Burke. He won his first 3 races before heading over to France for his next 2 starts. He almost landed a Group C at Chantilly or Chantilly in June before slightly misfiring at Deauville last time out. He'll have picked up some good experience in those races as well as some tasty prize money, but it's his form over here that really caught my eye. The horse he beat by 2 lengths at Redcar on his debut won next time out and then finished second and third on his next 3 starts, including a very close second in a Class 2 at York. The horse Ali Shuffle beat at Beverley on his second start, Argentine Tango. He's won 3 of his next 5, including a listed race. Also finished third in a Group 2 at Newmarket last week. And the third race Ali Shuffle won, which came at Chester in May, has also been working out well. The third horse that day is 2 from 2 since, and the fourth horse won easily next time out. So the form of all 3 of Ali Shuffle's UK wins has been working out really well. And I quite like his chances in this super sprint. He's around 7-1, best price 10-1, but 7-1's freely available in most places. And that's who I'm with right now for the super sprint, Tony. Ali Shuffle. What you got for the super sprint?
I've got Nifty on the short list. I've got Our Cody on the short list, and another one you mentioned there, Havana Hurricane. But that's 11 to 10, isn't it? So as you say, yeah you can sod off that one. Anyway, the one that my ears pricked up when you mentioned it because Anthelia for Rod Millman, Lewis Edmonds in the saddle. The yard had Betty's Hope to win this in 2019 at odds of 14 to 1. Anthelia, who runs for Midland Park Racing, is around 6 to 1 at the moment. He's had a couple of, he put a hat-trick together this season, winning at Bath, Salisbury and Sandown in a listed race, the National Stakes, which is a listed race over 5 furlongs, beating 6 rivals a length at 25 to 1. Then he was beaten in another listed race at Newmarket at the back end of last month in the Empress Fillies Stakes. Over 6 furlongs, finishing 5th of 8, beaten 2 lengths behind Argentine Tango at around 9 to 2. So, Anthelia for me in this, Ben, for Rod Millman, and is around 6 to 1, unfortunately. He's being backed at the minute. Hope for a bit of a better price. He was around 8 when I was looking at it last night. But Anthelia would be the one for me in the 3:30 at Newbury on Saturday, the Weatherby Super Sprint Stakes. Marvellous stuff. All right, many thanks for listening to the latest edition of the Racing PodBlast in our new midweek slot, and very best luck with your bets at Newbury and Market Rasen this weekend. You can catch me on 3B's Radio Bridlington every morning from Monday to Friday. You can catch more from Ben over on narrowinthefield.co.uk. That is narrowinthefield.co.uk. Plenty of fantastic free stuff on there as well. Thanks, and we'll see you all again next week in our new midweek PodBlasting slot. Thanks very much, Ben.
Just on it.
Cheers.
And it's Trawlerman's Gold Cup, runner-up last year. He wins the 2025 edition. Trawlerman has won the Gold Cup.
And racing up towards the line, it's another whiz-bang 2-year-old for Aidan O'Brien. It's Charles Darwin.